Good day, everyone, and welcome to our information session for the BSc Information Technology. This is the newest and most affordable BSc in Trinidad and Tobago, right? So today's session, I'm your host. My name is Ravi Raghunath. I'm the Executive Director of CTS College. This is my cell number. Please, you may want to take it down. This is also my email address. So feel free to take down my cell number. You could call me on WhatsApp or call me on normal phone, call me on WhatsApp, right, etc. However, you feel free to reach out to me. If you don't hear from me right away, feel free to just give me a call on WhatsApp. I could call you back. I have unlimited calls. It's not a problem for me to call you back. So if you call me, don't feel shy to say, hey, Ravi, can you call me back, please? And feel free to call me Ravi as opposed to Mr. Ravi, Mr. Raghunath, etc. Ravi is fine with me. Good. All right. So in terms of what we'll be covering in today's session, we will look at why study a BSc in Information Technology? Why study with the University of Bedfordshire? Why study with CTS College? We will also look at, because I know a lot of you are working and stuff like that, right? So we look at the features of the BSc program. What will you learn when you study the program? How could you fit this into your busy lifestyle? What kind of support is available from CTS College? And what about graduation? Where will I graduate? Will I graduate in Trinidad or will I go to England and graduate, etc.? Am I eligible to study, right? How much will this thing cost me and when can I start? And of course, we have a special offer. So I'm hoping you guys stay with us till the end where we discuss now the special offer that we have available to you guys, right? So looking forward to you guys staying on to the end where we discuss all of these as well. Okay. So that's a bit about what's expected. Okay. And cool. Next. So why study the BSc Information Technology or why study a BSc? So early on, I was asking you guys, why are you here today? Like, what were you looking for as well, right? Okay. And so in terms of the cost and stuff like that, David, all of that will be covered in the program, in our slides, right? So as I go through, I will discuss with you the duration and cost and all of those. It will be in the slides. So based on that, why study a BSc? And in terms of why study, well, some of you may be studying because you're looking for a promotion or a salary increase or a change of career, right? Or you may be studying because you want to start or grow your own business or for personal achievement. Some of you are studying for practical experience in IT. Some of you may be doing it to enhance your employability. And of course, so those are some of the major reasons why people are studying the bachelor's degree. Now, naturally, there's a cost to anything, right? And in terms of the cost, what I want to do, however, a lot of students tend to focus only on the cost and they don't realize the cost and they don't realize the investment or the benefit of studying as well. What I want to do, I want to use as a simple example of using someone with just a CXE qualification versus someone with a bachelor's degree and show you how this is really an investment into not just your future, but your children's future, right? And their children as well. How many of us have benefited from our parents or their parents, etc.? Right? Some of us may not have, and we may have to create our own path, but many of us may have benefited from their success as well. So let's take a look here. And I'm using the OJT salary chart. Now, naturally, your salary is expected to change over time, etc. But using an OJT salary chart, as a CXE graduate, you would get $3,025 per month as an OJT employee. With a bachelor's degree, however, you would get $7,562.50 per month. How much more would you get per month, guys? Can any one of you give me a rough estimate? Not at dollars and cents, down to dollar and cent, but roughly in terms of $1,000 more. How many thousand more would you be working for, you think, per month with a bachelor's degree as an OJT versus CSEC as an OJT?
45.
Very good. Roughly $4,500 a month. That is how much more, right? Now, you're not going to work 1 month and quit, right? Because you get $4,500 more, right? So let's take a look at 1 year. After 1 year, how much more would you have earned? So that's just how much more you earn in 1 month. In 1 year, how much would you have earned more? You multiply 4,500 by anyone?
About 50,000.
Right. We multiply 45 by 12. So you get $54,000 more in 1 year. That's how much more, not how much you earn, but how much more you earn than if you're doing CXE. Now, based on that as well, right? Based on that, right? That cost alone will cover the whole cost of your program. right? So in 1 year, how much you're earning more would have already covered the cost of your degree, right? So that is the extra you're making would have already covered the cost of your degree, but you're not going to work for 1 year and quit. So most people tend to work what, 40 to 45 years or so. So if you are working 40 to 45 years, assuming your salary stays fixed throughout, how much more would you have earned? And the answer is over $2 million more. But we know that your salary is not going to remain fixed. In fact, it is estimated that with a degree, your salary will grow a lot faster than it would with CXC, right? So some pundits have estimated this to be, or when I say pundits, I mean specialists in the field, etc. So they would have estimated it to be as much as $6 million more over a lifetime. Isn't that amazing? What would you do with $6 million more, right? So imagine that. So when you look at your bachelor's degree, don't just look at the cost, but look at the potential benefits that not just you, but your children and their children as well will benefit from in the future because of the investment you are making in terms of your studies. Okay, so now that we've gotten over that hurdle, let's look at why study with the University of Bedfordshire. Any one of you ever heard about University of Bedfordshire before?
No.
No, I agree. I didn't hear much about them before either, right? But because there's no team in the Premiership League with Bedfordshire, right? You know, if it was University of Liverpool or Manchester or Chelsea or one of those, yeah, I'm familiar. That must be a good university because there's a football team in the Premiership League, etc. with that name. But the fact is that the University of Bedfordshire has been around for a while. They ranked in the top 6% of world universities, right? They are a modern university with a quality dating back to over 100 years. They have over 20,000 students from over 120 different countries studying with the university. They have 5 campuses alone in the UK in Luton, Bedford, Puttridge, Islesburg, and Milton Keynes. Their biggest campus is in Luton. Now, you might be a bit more familiar with Luton because several years ago, Luton did have a team in the Premiership League, but they've been demoted since, right? But at the same time, the university has also forged partners in different parts of the world, in China, in Middle East, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, CTS College was one of the first partners with the university, right? In Trinidad and Tobago. Not in those, Europe and China and all of those came way before, but eventually, all of those places are on the east of England or the east of UK. We were one of the first partners on the west of the UK, right? They, as I said, they ranked in the top 6% of universities in the world, and they won the Queen's Anniversary Prize in 2013 for one of the highest form of national recognition a university could get in the UK. So that's part of their bragging rights. Of course, they are ranked in many different areas as well, but to me, ranking is a bit oversaid and overdone, right? When choosing a program, I would recommend a series of other factors, which I'll share with you as well soon. Now, why study with CTS College, right? Now, how many of you heard of CTS College before? Any one of you didn't hear about CTS College before? And I won't be offended. I'll be happy to, because I'm always glad when somebody new finds out about CTS College, right? Any one of you only now recently started hearing about CTS College?
Yeah.
You have? Very good. So no problem. So I'm always excited when new students learn about CTS College, right? So today I'm going to talk to you a bit about CTS College. So about CTS College, we are a private institution with over 21 years in the education industry. We are ACTT recognized, and we offer a range of programs from preschool to primary to secondary to tertiary as well. And we offer a range of courses, certification courses, professional development courses as well to complement your academic qualification. You can say we offer education from the cradle all the way to the grave, right? So our highest qualification currently is a master's qualification, and we're looking at eventually offering a DBA, which is a doctoral program as well. So eventually we'll have all these different programs available to you. We recently started like the preschool, primary as well, right? And those programs are doing rather well for something that we've only recently started. And one thing we've learned is from the pandemic, I must admit, and I want to be careful, it's a bit bragging, but it's honest as well. We had several meetings with the Accreditation Council and with other institutions as well. And during those meetings, we heard so much about schools who were having a really hard time because of the pandemic, right? We read about Yui's story on the papers. We read about Untitled Chapter, and it saddens me because I value those institutions and they are national treasures in Trinidad and Tobago, right? But at the same time, our story was so much different. CTS College has actually grown and blossomed during the pandemic. We made our courses available online as quickly as the Prime Minister announced it. By the next day, we were already online, and we've simply added more and more courses to our cadre of courses as well. So now we have over 70 different programs available for persons to choose from, right? It's really wonderful when you look at it as well. And our programs are online. They are recorded as well. If you miss a session, you have access to recording, etc. So there are so many benefits of it, and we have really grown over the last couple of years as well, right? We were doing pretty well before, but now our numbers have drastically increased as well, and part attributed to the pandemic and people moving online, so owing to the shutdown, etc. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, because to be quite honest, it saddens me what has happened. But at the same time, even in the midst of adversity, you could learn to find new ways to do stuff, and that is simply what we've done. And there are opportunities as well, and simply what CTS did is we maximize on the opportunities available by making programs available online, etc. So we've also done quite well over our period of time as well. We've won over 98 AB World Prizes since 2007. And what a World Prize is, a World Prize is given to the student who got the highest mark in the world. You imagine 98 students from CTS got the highest mark in the world. When you think about it, AB is offered in so many different countries, over 200 plus schools offering AB in over 32 countries as well. That's a remarkable achievement. In the last 5 years, CTS College has won more AB World Prize each year than any other school in Trinidad. And we currently hold the world record with AB for the most world prizes in any one sitting. We had 13 world prize winners in one sitting. We obliterated the record. The previous record, I think, was 7. We had 13. So AB acknowledged our victory and our students' victory as well. And it's not just about us and students, but even our teachers, our support staff, they're all part of the team that supports you as well, right? But I want to show you as well that it wasn't a fluke in winning those world prizes. If you look at it, with almost every awarding body we have that offers prizes, we have won awards. We have won 47 awards with the University of Hertfordshire. And those awards are given to the top student in the world doing the program, and their programs are available online to persons all over the world as well. So we are comparing our students with other students all around the world enrolling in the program, even those on campus. And to win top student award consistently is an amazing accomplishment. The university recognizes us as their top performing center globally. And in fact, just to share with you as well, the Vice Chancellor from the UK, actually, he was so proud of what CTS was doing. They offered me the opportunity to come to the UK and to meet with actually the ambassadors of all the other Caribbean countries to share the success story of CTS College and what we were doing with the intention of actually growing their programs in those countries, right? So we became basically their, I wouldn't say guinea pig at all. It was really a wonderful opportunity. And for me, what we were doing was something so wonderful to share with the rest of the world as well. And those, to me, are attributed to the success of our students as well. So we were the top performing partner with the university consistently. So that's really wonderful news. We've won ABMA Academic Achievement Awards as well, where our student has won top student in the world. We've won awards with AIB as well. And we've also won awards with the Accreditation Council. Now, these awards with ACT team is a different type of award because they recognize us for different things. And they have 3 categories. So they created what they call the QUITE Awards, which is Equality in Tertiary Education Awards. And there are 3 categories. There's student support services, excellence in quality management system, and excellence in teaching and learning. Now, the one that most valuable to me is the one on student support services, because really our student and the support you get is truly important in achieving your success. And we have won 11 ACTT QUITE Awards, 6 for student support services, 3 for quality management system, and 2 for teaching and learning. Now, because of budgetary cuts and stuff like that, the ACTT had to discontinue the QUITE Awards a few years ago. But when they started, CTS College has won more awards than any other institution in Trinidad and Tobago. That's a remarkable achievement. Imagine you're going up against giants like UE, who have been existing for so long. And this is not to put them down in any way. This award means so much to us, because to win an award competing against the likes of those giants, those well-established institutions, when you look at the brain power in those different institutions, and to know that a small school like CTS was achieving so much, it really says a lot for us. So really, guys, I mean, I owe all the thanks and glory to God as well. So this is in no way trying to say this is Ravi, but this is really about how good God has been to us as well, and the hard work of our staff and student, and that passes on to our student as well. So to share with you guys as well that, look, when you come to CTS, what I'm really trying to establish here, that CTS is really about you guys, right? So at CTS, our motto is where the experience is beyond the academics. And we work really hard to make sure that your experience is really second to none, right? So I am trusting that you too can say the same, that when you join CTS, that, it truly has been a wonderful experience as well. And if it's not, please ensure you talk to me and tell me what the problem is so I could correct it as well. Because in saying that, I'm not trying to say that, there aren't any problems. Indeed, there are flaws, and we are constantly a work in progress. So you tell us, and we will work towards improving who we are, so that we will always be what you want us to be as best as we can as well. Okay. So in terms of experience delivering a bachelor's degree in IT, we have over 15 years delivering a bachelor's degree in IT, right? Our pass rate is over 85%. In fact, it has actually reached near 90 now. We've had over 2,000 applicants, over 1,700 graduates, with over 500 getting first class honors. And our graduates are employed in various sectors across the different industries as well. So our students are being employed. Please note as well that our students are also migrating and working in Canada, America, UK, Caribbean countries as well. So we have students all across the world as well. In fact, right now we have students in Germany who are studying programs at CTS College, students in UK, in Canada and America, Jamaica, Barbados, Grenada, enrolled in programs at CTS College at the moment, right? So online classes have certainly made it more available and more affordable and more accessible. Now, in terms of early on, I told you that when you're looking for a program, don't just focus on ranking. Ranking is just a small part of it. There are some other things that I wanted to share with you in terms of us when we were looking for a program. When we were looking at a bachelor's program, we were looking for certain things, certain different qualities. So initially we were offering a BSc with the University of Hertfordshire, right? But we were only offering the final year, and we wanted to offer all 3 years. But the cost of offering the program with Hertfordshire, right, was very expensive. So we couldn't come up with an agreeable cost, something that will be affordable for our students in Trinidad. So eventually we mutually agreed that, look, it wouldn't make sense continuing, so let's look for another partner. And in doing so, I started looking for different partners, different universities as well, to start this program, right? So yes, in terms of the question, online classes means student anywhere in the world can enroll in the class. So you could be anywhere in the world and enroll in the class, because the same thing for this session here today. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you're just joining the class via Zoom link, right? So you could be anywhere in the world being part of today's information session and being part of the program as well, okay? So just a note. Now, in terms of looking for a program, we had learned a lot about what students wanted, and we equipped with that, we started now meeting with different universities to see if we could get the following done. So what are some of the things we looked for? Well, some of the things we wanted was a program that was fully accredited, a program that is recognized not just in Trinidad by ACTT and accepted by employers, but something that no matter where you go, it will be accepted as well. So we look for international accreditation. Apart from that, right, we wanted a program that was globally accessible, that no matter where you are in the world, ideally you would be able to do the program, right? Then we looked for programs as well that were practical. And this was more from talking to employers, because a lot of times we hear employers say, look, they're fed up of employees qualified coming into work, but yet they're not able to work. They have book sense, they don't have common sense, that sort of thing. So we were looking for a program that was extremely practical, that you are solving real life problems as well as you continue the program. So we look for a program that you are actually writing programs or developing database, developing solutions for that sort of thing, right? Even learning networking databases, all the different things you can. So we look for programs that were extremely practical in nature, not just asking you theories, but really solving problems. And so that was one of our deal breakers, if you want to call it, when we're meeting with different awarding bodies. We also wanted a program that was accelerated. And why is that? Because most of our students are working and they want to get their degree as quickly as possible. I'm sure for many of you, I wish you could wake up tomorrow with your degree at hand, right? With the knowledge too as well. So you want to get qualified as quickly as possible because you recognize that, look, you need to get, if you're looking for promotion, you need to get out as quickly as possible because you also have your personal goals. So we look for programs as well that were accelerated, that would not take an overly lengthy time, that by the time you finish, the information is already outdated that you started with, but something that could get you qualified as quickly as possible and get you employed as quickly as possible. So given that's the case, we looked for a program that had the shortest duration, that satisfied all the criteria. And naturally, the program had to be affordable because if the students can't afford it, there's no sense, right? So based on all of those now, we met with different awarding bodies and different universities, and then eventually we selected the University of Bedfordshire as our partner because they were the only one that checked all the boxes that we needed, okay? So in terms of its accreditation, the University of Bedfordshire is accredited in the UK by Quality Assurance Agency. Basically, QA is a body that advises the government on application for degree awarding powers, right? So the right to be called a university in the UK is granted by QA, and QA does periodic accreditation of the institution as well. So you don't become accredited and you end, and that's it for life. You have to, every 5 years, you have to go through approval process again. So it's continuous approval, right? And that's part of it. And the same thing for us with ACTT as well. We have to go through that same process with ACTT. And they also recognized by Accreditation Council as well. If you're looking at migrating to the US, UK, etc., it's also recognized in those countries. As part of their quality process, all our marketing and promotion approved by the university. All admission, when you apply, you are not approved by CTS, you are approved by the university. All our faculty, our lecturers are approved by the university. All our teaching material come from them, but we are allowed to customize, right? All the assessments are marked by the university, right? They also conduct annual audits, do continuous feedback as well from students to ensure that we are doing what we are supposed to do. Apart from that, the program is globally accessible because the university has partners all across the world. So they created an online learning environment called Brio. So Brio is an online learning environment that you will have access to 24/7. Now, only the students from level 4, 5, and 6 will have access to it. If you're starting the bridging program, you would not have access to Brio. Only when you get to level 4, then you would have access to Brio. But Brio basically is an online learning environment where all your lecture notes are, all your assignments are submitted, all your assignments are there, the questions itself, and when you finish and you submit, you're submitting it online. So you're not going to print and bring a piece of paper for us to mark. You are submitting it directly online to the university for it to be marked by the university as well. Okay. They also have a 24/7 information desk available to support students across the world as well. So all your materials are available 24 hours. And what we have done as well, we have used the information from Brio. Plus, we've used our lecturers, all their lecture notes. Plus, we've also added on all the recording from classes, and we've created a shared drive, and all of these are accessible via the shared drive. Okay, so that's part of the access and support you'll get. The program, as I said, is practical. You're solving real life problems throughout the whole journey of the program, right? It's also accelerated. Now, what do we mean by accelerated? Now, you can complete the bridging program in as little as 4 months, which is 1 semester. There are 3 levels, level 4, level 5, level 6. Now, in the UK, a year is made up of 3 semesters, and you are doing 4 courses in 1 year. But this is how it works. In the first semester, you do 2 subjects. In the second semester, you do 2 subjects. And the third semester, which is summer, the students normally go back home to their families, right? And therefore, you're on a break for 4 months. Right? Now, the reason for it is because in the UK, right, even UE as well kind of does it like that. What they do for the summer, you basically have no classes because the bulk of those students are full-time students. Now, the truth is many of those students leave their parents home to attend the university. So going back home is something very joyful. If you're a parent as well, you would look forward to your child coming home as well. Right? And many of those students are actually from different countries traveling to the UK as well. So the families are very happy to have them back home for that 4-month period. But you know, in Trinidad, it doesn't quite work out like that. Not that your parents are not happy to see you, but the fact is that nobody really leaves home to go and study at CTS College, you know, like where you leave your home and you rent and you're going to start in CTS College or any of the other institution. Maybe for UE, you would do that, right? But for most of these programs, you would travel to CTS to attend classes, right? So therefore, students in Trinidad are really living home and doing their classes, especially where it's online now. You know, you don't need to leave home, right? So given that's the case, there's really no need for that 4-month break. So we had asked in the university as well, can we renegotiate where instead of students going on that 4-month break, that once they finish, so 8 months you finish level 4, go on to level 5 one time rather than wait for 4 months just doing nothing. And the university agreed. So basically 8 months you do level 4, 8 months you do level 5, 8 months you do level 6. And that's pretty much how it works. Okay. All right. So that means now you should be able to complete the program in as little as 2 years, right? Isn't that amazing? Because to be quite honest, most programs require at least 3 years to complete your degree, and some require as much as 5 years to complete your degree. So given that's the case, when you really look at it, right, the faster you could get your degree, the faster you could gain employment, get your experience, and start earning as well. All right. I don't think many of us want to remain students for life. I mean, yes, you're learning in general, but you don't want to be in a classroom all the time. You may have other things that you want to focus on because life has so many other things that you may want to experience as well. Okay. So given that's the case, we're able to complete the program in as little as 2 years, starting from level 4, right? Of course, the program is structured in such a way that you can start at different levels, which we'll talk about as well. And we'll also talk about the program being an affordable investment. And we'll talk to you, so that will be covered later on. The costing will be covered later on. But we also partner with GMMB so that you can get student loans as well. So GMMB has a financing option available for students who are interested in studying, who may not be able to pay their fees. You can use the financing option available from GMMB. Okay. When I'm emailing you, I'll include some details on the GMMB option as well after the session. Okay. Now, how is this program structured? So what we'll do, we'll look at the different levels. So there's a level 4, a level 5, and a level 6. Level 4 has 4 units, and we call level 4 year 1. So year 1, level 4, just 2 different terms for the same thing. Then there's level 5. Level 5 is year 2, and there are 4 subjects in level 5, and then you go on to year 3, which is level 6, right? And level 6 is the final year of the degree, and there are 4 units as well, right? Now, the truth is, you can start at any of those levels if you satisfy the requirements. So for example, if you did A levels, or if you have any work experience, any, doesn't matter whether it's IT or non-IT, if you have any work experience, right? Maybe 2 or more years of work experience, right? Or you should be able to start at level 4. Even though it says 3, I've had students with 2 years work experience who got into level 4, right? Or if you have IT work experience or IT certifications, you could get into level 4, right? Now, can you get in directly into level 5? And the answer is you can, but here's how you get into level 5. You either pass level 4 and go to level 5, or if you've done any level 4 diploma in IT, I think one of you earlier on indicated that you did a level 4 diploma, right? If you've done a level 4 diploma in IT, it must be in IT, you could move straight into level 5. Or if you have IT work experience and IT certs as well, right? Then you could start at level 5. Now, how do you go to level 6? Now, you could go to level 6 if you've completed level 5, or if you haven't done level 5, here's how you could also get to level 6. If you have completed an associate degree in IT, or an HND in IT, or a level 5 IT diploma, or you have 6 or more years of IT work experience and you have IT certs, then you could get into level 6 as well. So those are some of the typical ways you could get into the different levels. So if you start at level 6, how long do you think it will take to complete, guys? If you start at level 6, how long you think it will take to complete level 6? Each level could be done in how long? Any one of you? How long would it take to complete each level? Anyone?
About 8 months.
8 months.
8 months. So correct. So in 8 months, if you have any of those and you start at level 6, in 8 months, you could complete your degree, right? And if you start at level 5, you'll need 8 months to level 5 and 8 months to level 6. That's 16 months. And if you start at level 4, it will be 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is 24, which is 2 years, right? Cool. Are we okay there with the entry requirements and the different levels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions? Now, we have the bridging program. Now, I think a lot of students misunderstand who the bridging program is for, right? So I'll explain who the bridging program is for. The bridging program was really created for anyone who's either like you're 15, 16 or something and want to start the degree. The bridging program was created for those persons in mind. So if you straight out of CXC, you just wrote CSEC, you start the bridging program ideally. If you didn't write CSEC, you're in Form 5. I have a student who's currently in Form 5 who started the program while doing CXC as well. They started the bridging level. Good. So the bridging program is ideally for those. So what if I'm 20 years, should I start at the bridging program? Well, not necessarily. If you're 20 years, you might want to start at level 4. And in most cases, because of your maturity, the university will accept you into level 4, right? So who therefore the bridging program is? Is it for somebody who have no background or experience in IT? And the answer is not necessary. That person can start at level 4. The bridging program is really for like persons who are more like 15, 16, 17, that age group, right? So ideally, if you're in that age group and all you have is just your CSEC, then ideally the university may recommend you start at the bridging program rather than level 4, right? Other than that, if you're 17, 18, we've had a few 17-year-olds who got into level 4, but typically 18 and over, you normally start at level 4, okay? But again, I want to reiterate, the university makes that final decision, right? Not CTS, but the university makes that final call, okay? All right, so any questions you have for me regarding the entry requirements there?
What if you're transferring from another
Institution?
Yeah.
Right? No problem. You can. And if you are transferring, depending on what you've completed in the other program, because let's say you started a program and you haven't passed any course at all, right? You've been in classes, but you haven't passed anything, then there's really nothing for you to carry forward because I cannot get a transcript that says you've successfully completed these courses. But if you have passed IT courses in the other program, you may be able to start at a higher level. So what I normally do, for persons who are not certain where they should start, I always recommend, let's have a quick chat and I could probably guide you, right, in terms of where you might want to start, okay? But at the same time, it's up to you. So if I tell you, well, based on this, you could start at level 6. And you may say, well, Ravi, I don't want to start level 6. I would prefer start at level 5. No problem, because I want you to be comfortable with your decision, right? But I will be able to tell you where I expect you to start. Does it mean because I tell you you could start at level 6 means you will start at level 6? And the answer is not all the time. The university may say, well, look, I'm looking at this, but I think this person should start at level 5 or level 4 as the case may be, right? So the university always makes the final say on those decisions. But most cases, what we recommend is where students normally get accepted to start, okay? All right. So what would I learn in this program? So in terms of the program, there are different levels. In level 4, you'll do more introductory work in computing. So you'll learn about intro to software, principles of hardware, how computers are built, how computers work. You'll learn about databases. You will have access to Cisco Academy, where you'll have access to their networking course. Now, I don't know how many of you heard of Cisco, but Cisco has their academy and they have exams and stuff on Cisco. As a student of this program, you will get access to Cisco Academy if you're starting level 4. Only level 4 students enroll in the networking course. They will get access to Cisco Academy. And what Cisco did last year for the students and this year as well, it allowed them, apart from the course that they enrolled in, it allowed them to take any other certification. They had a list of certification that they allow them freebies to get as well, without having to pay for any exam. But it's a subset of their full certifications, right? So many students use it as a golden opportunity to add other certifications to their resume, right? So that's a wonderful thing. And if you pass the unit, you get a certificate from Cisco, plus as well, you pass the unit with the university. Good. All right. You'll also learn about programming. You learn Microsoft Access, you learn Oracle, you learn Java and Python. And Java and Python are the two main programming languages you learn, as well as you learn SQL as well. Good. Now, please note, if you look at World Economic Forum and the job market, you will see that Java and Python are among some of the top jobs in the world. So I would encourage you as well, to learn these skills, because the university is employing you for opportunities to work as well in these areas. So it's a wonderful option for you, right? Starting at level 4, learning those different skills. All right, level 5 now. In level 5, you'll focus more on how software is designed. So you will be doing more design work with software, but you'll also have to do development work. So for example, my level 5 class this semester, they have to build an e-commerce application, right? And we are doing it 2 ways. And my reason for doing it 2 ways is to give them skills. The more skills they have on their resume, the better. So they're going to use WordPress to build it, right? So they're going to use WooCommerce with WordPress, which is a plugin for WordPress. Plus, they will also build it in PHP, which is learning coding. In another assignment, they're going to use Oracle Apex to build an application as well, which is a student kiosk, right? So they're building that using Apex. My whole thing about this is that the students are learning a multitude of skills. You are being so equipped for the workplace that at the end, even if your employer doesn't use any of these language, because you have all of these under your belt, it makes it easy as you transition to learn something new because you've covered all of these as well. And you learn a lot on design as well. So you actually have to design a prototype, right? So you have to come up with solutions. So they will tell you here what, choose a problem in any area. For example, it could be in healthcare, it could be in education, it could be in any area of your choice. And you come up with a solution. You are designing a solution to solve a problem. It's amazing when you look at some of the actual solutions students create as well. They're very practical, very realistic as well. And I think it will do really well if given the opportunity to, right? And in level 6 now, you'll do more independent learning there. You are going to be taught for everything, yes, but you'll have to do an independent project. Our focus this semester is we're doing an e-commerce application as well, which uses what you did in year 2, but you are also teaching as though you have never learned it at all. And you'll be doing more project management and other stuff related as well. So you're doing better project management, you're doing designing solution to solve different real life issues, as well as doing your final year or your thesis as well. Okay. All right. Now, these are examples of the courses at the different levels. So in the bridging program, there's 1 unit that you're doing only, and it's 30 credits. Level 4 has 4 units, each 30 credit. Level 5 has 4 units, each 30 credit. Level 6 has 4 units, each 30 credit. Now, I want to point out something. While there are only 4 units that you'll be studying in a level, like for example, this semester, I am teaching computer system structure. And this course, half of it is databases, and the other half is networking. So although on paper it's 1 course, it's really 2 different subject areas you're covering. Database and networking, and that's the one you have access to the network, Cisco Networking Academy. When I was teaching principles of fundamentals of computer studies, it was split into 2 as well. One part I was doing like computer hardware, like logic gates and those kind of things, and the circuits and those things. And then the other half was being covered by someone else, which is more focusing on employability skills and understanding the job market, what employers want, and helping you to develop those, helping you to choose courses as well that will work with what the kind of job that you want to do as well. So students have to actually come up with an idea of like a career path that they wanted in IT, like whether they want to be a programmer or a designer or whatever. And they had to look at the courses and also look at different things that they could do to complement their degree as well, to get them ready. So when they finish, that their resume is polished. So they have to even create a resume and a 3-year and a 5-year plan to show that how they could get to where they want to go as well. So it's truly practical and preparing students for the world of work also. Okay. All right. So many of you are working. How can you fit this bachelor's program into your busy life? Well, here's the good thing about it, right? There are 3 intakes, and each intake is at most 4 months away from the other. We have 1 in February, 1 in June, 1 in October. Now, having said that, the next intake is October, but really classes are starting on the 25th of September. But the university refers to it as the October intake. So I will go with the October intake, but the classes for this starts on 25th of September. Induction is on the 18th of September. So really, in this case, it starts in September, but in some instances, it starts in October. Good? All right. So you have a February intake and a June intake. So we just started our June intake, but we're preparing for our September intake, right? Which is our next intake. So there are 3 intakes for the year, each 4 months apart. Now, we talk about how am I going to fit this into my busy lifestyle. And in terms of this, you have each subject has a 2-hour class typically on a Saturday, but not all the time. Each subject has typically 2 assessments, and the assessments are normally assignments. In some cases, you may have a test, etc., but you don't have like a final exam at the end where it's the be all and end all of stuff. It doesn't really work like that. Most cases, you have assignments, like one might be 50% and the other 50, or 140, 160, or 130, 170, as the case may be, right? So that's how it's normally split, right? And you will be doing those as you go along. Most of your assignments are individual assignment, but a couple of your assignments will be group assignments, okay? Now, let's take a look. A semester is typically 15 weeks in duration and normally have a 2-week break at the end of each semester. This is an example of our timetable for September, for your intake, right? So the Saturday class for the bridging program is from 8 until 10. Then if you're looking at level 4 now, level 4, remember I told you fundamentals of computers is split into 2 parts. So one teacher is teaching on Saturday and the other part is done on Monday from 6 to 8. And of course, you have these intro to software development, typically on a Saturday, right? So I split one subject into 2. So you end up having 3 classes for level 4. Level 5, you have 2 classes. Level 6 now, if new students will be doing 2 subjects, advanced IT and research methodologies, 2 classes for those, whereas students who in their second semester would have they're doing 2 subjects, but they'll have 3 classes, one on Saturday and one on Monday evening and Wednesday evening. All these classes are recorded, right? So please note, all the classes are recorded, right? So just as a note for you guys, right? So even if you miss a class, you have access to the recording as well. Does this look feasible? 2 hours only if you're in the bridging program, 6 hours in level 4, 4 hours in level 5, or 4 hours in level 6, or 6 hours depending on which semester you're in level 6. That's all your class hours for the week. So you have a lot more time for studying, right? So we don't try to take up too much of your time in class, but instead, we do the work in class, but you have a lot more time for studying, right? Potential learning taking place. Now, how will you be assessed? You'll be assessed by coursework, which could be an assignment, or via group or individual assignments, or you may have to develop a portfolio work, which is multiple pieces of work that is graded as 1, or you may have to do an essay, but essay is more for level 4, right? Or you may have to do presentations, which I love because students have to know it improves their ability to public speak, their ability to command a classroom, go in front and talk as well, and to be able to market and sell their product as well. Because when you're in an interview, you are marketing and selling yourself, right? You are the commodity here, right? You are offering a service, you are the service provider, and you have to be able to sell and market yourself really well in terms of your skills. And a lot of time, students go to interview thinking, well, I have the qualification, they have to hire me, and you don't realize how many more qualified people are there for the job as well. Right? So it's very important that you go and you sell your skills really well. Okay. Now, apart from that, you may also have exams as well, right? Now, in terms of passing units and progressing, in order to pass a unit, the pass mark is 40. So 40 marks is the pass mark. So what they typically do, you add up all your marks, and once your total mark is 40 or more, you pass the unit. Cool. And that's as simple as that. The pass rate is extremely high. For this particular program at the University of Bedfordshire, the pass rate is in the high 90s. Many units have 100% pass rate, right? Ideally, the students who don't pass are those who don't submit assignment. And there are a couple instances of persons who don't do the assignment. I think a lot of times people sign up for the course, they don't come to class and they don't submit. And we do our best to get people to come to class, to get them to do the assignments. We provide tutorial support and all of that, but they don't. And there are some things we hold ourselves accountable for, and there are some things we can't, right? Because if you don't make yourself accessible, there's only so much we can do, right? So the pass mark is 40. Now, what if I didn't get my pass mark? Well, if you fail a unit, here's what the university does. You don't have to pay to repeat the unit at all. What they do, they have what you call a referral. So a referral means that they give you a second chance to do over an assignment. If you pass that assignment, and often the assignment is the same original assignment, and they give you additional time to complete it. And if you pass it, you pass the unit. If you fail the referral or you don't do it, then you have to pay now to repeat the unit. So notice the process. Step 1, you enroll, you do your subjects. If you get 40 or more overall, you pass the subject. If you get less than 40, they give you a referral. If you pass the referral, you pass the unit. But if you fail the referral, right, then you have to pay to repeat the unit. Good? Okay. Now, what happens now when I graduate? So when you graduate, you can graduate with either first class honors, upper second class honors, lower second class honors, and third class honors. Ideally, your class of degree is dependent on your average mark. So if you enroll in the final year, once your average is 70 or more, you get first class honors. If it's in the 60s, you get upper second. If it's in the 50s, you get lower second. And if it's in the 40s, you get third class honors. Okay. Now, in terms of your average, if you started from year 1 or year 2, know the following. Your year 1 grades do not count towards your degree, but you need to pass year 1 to go on to year 2, but they don't count towards the class of degree. Your year 2 grades, however, count towards the class of degree. If you started at year 1 or year 2, it will count towards the degree. It will count to 1/3 of the total cost, and then your final year will consist of 2/3 of the total cost in terms of weighing of the calculation, right? Now, I did early on tell you that CTS College has won numerous awards for student support. So what kind of support are you expected to get with this program? Well, your support started even early on. You may have sent an email to CTS, or you may have seen an ad and you would have submitted your information as well. So this information is part of our support service. Even replying to you is part of the support, but what happens as well? It's so important that the right people enroll in the program, because not every program is for you. And the truth is that you need to know about the program before you make that choice. Our reason for having the information session is not about, let's get everybody to sign up. No, I really want you to learn about this decision that you're going to make, because I don't want you to be investing your time and money into something that is really, your heart is not into. And I really would like, when you choose to do the degree, you have all the information about the degree to make a valid choice as well, right? So you're making a decision that you have all the information there to make that decision. So it's an informed decision that you're making. Cool. All right. So we will provide support. If you need advice, you have my phone number. You could call me at any time, right? And just to let you know, guys, I have no problem receiving calls late in the night, right? So I'm not the kind to say, well, look, I don't know that person, I'm not taking the call. I'm giving my number because I genuinely believe in education. I believe this is my ministry. I believe this is where God has called me to be. And therefore, as much as I can, I make myself accessible to everyone. It does have its drawbacks as well, because to be quite honest, I get so much calls and messages, but the fact is I'm serving my purpose as well. So in terms of access, you have access to me, and I'm the owner of the institution, and I give away my phone number as well to everyone. You don't have, because you are investing in CTS, you are investing in me as well, and you are my responsibility. And that's how important I feel about it. That's why giving my numbers to students is something important to me, because I don't want you to have to go through a series of people to be able to talk to me. Right? I have a very much an open door policy. You have access to me. You don't need to form a committee to get to talk to me. You could just call me. I've given you my number, right? So given that's the case, as I said, I am vested in you. And that's why I'm doing this information session here today, to tell you that I value you. And therefore, my promise to you is when you enroll in this program, I will ensure we do our best to serve you as well, okay? So given that's the case, we support students on so many different fronts. So we have, before you start, so we have the information session to make sure that you do the, you get all the information. Then we have, we accept your application, we go through it, we submit it to university, we keep you informed of what's happening. When you get accepted, we inform you as well which level you get accepted. We send you the forms, we follow up with you to help you fill out the forms as well. We collect back your forms, we submit your forms to the university, right? So basically we are your go-between with you and the university, because you are a student of both CTS and the university. Apart from that, before you actually start classes, we have an induction session as well, where we go through more information about being a student of the university, your requirements as a student as well, right? Then we also go through academic writing, Harvard referencing, and all of those to prepare you as well for the program. Apart from that too, right? If you need letters, assistance, support, you just email us to get letters or whatever you need. We're doing that for you. You don't have to come to the office. You don't have, everything is emailed out to you all as best as we can once it could be done in soft copy, right? Even payments, etc., are done online. Apart from that, when you have assignments, we do tutorials for assignment. I told you all earlier today I had a session. Actually, they have an assignment due, and I was doing a tutorial to prepare them for that assignment as well. So we spend a lot of time and effort preparing you for your assignments. We don't do the assignment for you, but we work with you. We guide you, we repeat and go over everything we have to ensure that you are well equipped to undertake your assignment, right? So those are some of the different things. So from administrative to academic to advisory, we are here for you, with you right throughout the way. Apart from that, you have access to an online environment called Brio with information available there, all the study materials, support guides, etc. CTS College also has our own share drive with all the materials available to you. Like now, books are not part of the course, your course, but what we've done, we have gotten books and other materials as well and made them available for you guys, so you have easy access to it, right? But again, the books are not part of the program, but we have been able to get access to those and made it available all via the share drive for you as well in soft copy, right? Apart from that, you have access to online journals as well for the program because you need to research and as part of your degree. So you have access to those as part of your study. I mentioned earlier on that we conduct induction before you start classes, and at induction, you'll be introduced to the course. We'll go through referencing as well. We'll go through study tips and skills and academic writing practice as well to ensure that you are well equipped to undertake this course. Okay, so this is not just by happenstance. You don't just come and sign up and you start class. We invest in you to ensure that you have all the tools, all the skills you need so that you are prepared for class. Of course, you could choose not to attend any of the sessions, right? And bring it all to zero. But the fact is, it's our responsibility to make these things available for you. And even if you don't attend, we're sending you the video as well, so you could get you to watch also, right? Okay, so that's part of what we do. All right, next. All right. In terms of our lectures are industry practitioners. They are approved by the university, but for us, our lecturers must be practitioners. So for example, I'm teaching database, but I used to be a database administrator previously. My lecturer who's teaching, for example, networking, he writes books on networking. In fact, if you go on LinkedIn, you'll see he has over 6 different books already written. That's Glenn Singh. So he's teaching the networking part. He's an actual specialist in networking and cybersecurity, right? So when you're doing every subject you do is a subject specialist that you're doing as well. All right. People who actually do that as part of your job, right, etc. So you have practitioners who are teaching it. Cool. All right. So then in terms of the student voice, so you can we have the committee and you could have a voice with the university, but here's what I've done. Rather than you have to go through our committee as well, I give you direct access to me. You have a question, a query, a concern. Don't ever worry that nobody's going to victimize you at all. I am here to meet with you to discuss because you see, I'm always interested in how to make CTS better. I am very open to you telling me all of our flaws and ripping us apart for what we're going wrong, because to me it's learning. Because my promise is to be the best institution that we can be. And I know that there are some limits to what we can do, but the truth is I'm always glad when a student can tell me something that is wrong, that it gives us an opportunity to fix. It's always wonderful hearing the good news, what we're doing well, but it's also eye-opening for us to learn what we're doing wrong so that we can fix it. So never hesitate to call me and tell me bad news, because if it's true and you're being honest, then I would appreciate hearing it so I could fix that as well, because we are a learning organization. I cannot be teaching people to help improve their life when I'm not focusing on mine either. It's important for me that CTS is a learning institution. The same way we create learners, we are adaptable as well, okay? So I want to keep my word and I want you to be able to share with me those things too. Now, if you're going to start this program, what resources would you need? Well, to start this program, you will need Wi-Fi connection because you're doing it remotely from home, and you need to have a good laptop available because you have to install software and work on your assignments. You can use a phone, but to be quite honest, you're going to have some challenges. You can attend classes with the phone and stuff, but you would have challenges to do some of the assignment on the phone, right? You don't want to write a 1,000-word assignment trying to type it on the phone only, right? But I mean, I have some students who said they did, but truthfully, having access to a laptop or computer would be very helpful. All right. Okay. Where would I graduate? The beautiful thing about it is you could graduate in 2 places. You could graduate at the university in the UK and at CTS College. Our graduation is held at Hyatt every year. It's usually the 2nd Sunday in December, right? We didn't have one last year because of the pandemic, but we do have earmarked the 2nd Sunday in December carded for your graduation, right? Apart from that, you can also graduate in the UK, but of course you have to put your own bill to travel to the UK as well, right? So naturally accommodation and airfare is your responsibility if you want to attend the graduation ceremony in the UK. But now the university is doing online graduation. So you could sit in your bedroom and you can be waving your hat and all of that as you graduate, because the graduation ceremonies are currently all virtual. Now, how do I qualify? We already went through all the entry requirements. So I'll skip part this because we went through the entry requirements for each of the level early on, right? And I'll be sending you the slides as well. So we've gone through this. So I'll kind of skip part this, right? So question always, well, Rafi, how would I apply for the program? So if you're applying, here's what I want you to do. You need to fill out the application form. Please don't print the form and then fill it out in pen. fill it out on the computer. If they ask for a signature and you cannot sign it, don't worry about it. Leave out the signature. But when you send it to me, you also have to send the form. You also have to send your the completed application form. If you could include your resume, if you have one. The reason is that the resume ideally will tell me what programs you did, what you didn't finish and stuff. So it will help me to get all the information I need, unless we spoke and we have all the information, right? So it will help me to guide you in making a better decision. And also send me either an ID or passport or DP. Once it has not expired, please send it to me. If it's your ID, I need both front and back, right? If it's ID, I need both front and back, right? If it's your passport or your DP, I do only one page I'll need from that, right? The one side. Now, if you're using work experience to get in, typically a letter from employer would be useful. Or if you're using academics, if you have any evidence of the studies, whether it's a transcript or certificate or a letter of completion, all of those things will be helpful, or your results, whatever results you may have gotten, even unofficial copies are all helpful as well, right? And if you did IT cert, submit everything that you have to help me as well, right? To make the best decision. Cool. And you email those to study@ctscollege.com. So once you have it, you email those to study@CTS College. So what's going to happen now? So you submit your documents to study@CTS College. Once the application is complete, we send it to the university. If it's not complete, I'll let you know, look, we still need this, etc. Once it gets to the university, they will review your application and provide an offer letter and a registration form for you to complete. We would email these back to you to complete. We will guide you in completing them. You will complete them and send them back to us, right? Once you send them back to us now what I did in the past, I would send it to the university, but now I don't send it directly to the university. What I do, after you send back the form confirming you are starting, you need to register with CTS and make a payment towards the fees. And after you've made a payment, then I will send your documents to the university indicating you've accepted the offer. And why am I doing that? And that's only because in the past, I've had students, I would send it directly to the university once you send it to me. But a lot of times students confirm that they are starting, send the forms indicating that, and then they don't start, and then the university bills me, and I have to pay your fees because you didn't start the program, right? But you said that you're starting, you submitted all the forms, and then you don't show up for class and you don't start. So that's why you need to make a payment before I could commit to them. Otherwise, I inherit your debt, right? That's why. So then you would attend the induction on the 18th and 22nd September is induction. Classes start on the 25th. So the induction will be on the evening of the 18th and 22nd of September. The 18th is a Saturday, so it will be actually same time, I think 10 to 12. And on the 22nd, which is a Wednesday, it's on, I think it's from 6:30 to 6 to 8, I think it is, sorry, right? 6 to 8 p.m. Right? And classes start on the 25th. So that's a bit about what you should expect going forward. Now, we didn't discuss cost. So let's look at the cost of the program. So for the program, the bridging level has one subject. It's $500 to register, $2,000 for tuition, and the university fees is £150. So $5 to register, $2,000 for tuition, and £150 to the university. If you're starting level 4, right, or if you move to level 4, there are 2 semesters. There are 4 subjects in total, and you're doing it over 2 semesters. Each semester you pay $500 to register. You pay $2,000 per subject, so that's 4 subjects is $8,000 and £150 per exam by 4, $600. So this is the total cost, the full cost for the level, right? So the full cost for level 4 is roughly $8,000 plus this is £600, which is $6,000 roughly, plus $1,000 for registration, $500 by 2 semesters. So that's $9,000 plus 6, which is $15,000 in total for level 4. So level 4 is roughly $15,000, but you're not paying that up front. You could if you wish, right? But we have payment plans, which I'll discuss shortly. Level 5 is $16,000 and level 6 is roughly $26,000. So those are the different costs for each level. So want to make sure you have an idea of the costing, right? That's the total cost for the level. But let's break down the cost now because we have payment plans available. Now, this slide has the per semester. I want you to note this is per semester. The other one was overall. This is per semester. So in the previous slide, you will see 4 subjects. Now you're seeing 2. That's because in a semester, you're doing 2 subjects in a semester. So in your first semester, if you're starting level 4, it's the same thing, $500 registration, $2,000 plus £150. But if you're starting level 4, 5, or 6, you're only doing 2 subjects per semester. Registration is $500. It's 4,000 in total for tuition and £300 to university. If it's level 5, 500 to register, 4,500 tuition and 3,000 for the university, £300 to the university. If it's level 6, it's 2 subjects are doing, 5 to register, 5,000 for tuition and £750 to the university. Good. So that's the fees for the different level. Now, in terms of your monthly payment plan now, we look at if you're paying upfront for the semester, if you want to pay monthly, this is what you do. For your tuition, you divide it into 4. So you pay 500 each month for tuition for the bridging level, apart from the 500 registration and 150 exam. For level 4, if you're paying monthly, you pay 500 upfront to register, you pay university fees of 300, and monthly you could pay $1,000 each month for 4 months, right, for tuition. Level 5, same, you pay university fees and registration, but you pay $1,125 each month for 4 months, right? And again, if it's level 6, you pay 500 to register, you pay $1,250 per month for 4 months, and you have $750 for the university, £750 for the university. Good. Now, we do have a special offer available for you guys. And that special offer, you can receive up to 1,000 off per level, 1,000 off per level, or 250 per unit, 250 off per subject, right? And here's how you could qualify for the special offer. To qualify for the special offer, you must submit and complete the completed application form and supporting documents by the 16th of July, which is Friday coming. And you must, so that's the first part, and you're submitting it to study@ctscollege.com. When you're emailing, make sure you email study@ctscollege.com. And your registration and tuition fee for the semester must be paid quite by the 4th of September. Right, so once you pay off your fees, your registration, tuition, and university fees in full by the 4th of September, then you'll get your discount off. Okay, so that's okay with you guys. Just to reiterate, you submit all your documents by Friday, and you pay by 4th of September. So your payment is not due until 4th of September, but you have to pay the fees in full by the 4th of September to get the discount. Okay, so question is, when can you start? And our next start date is 25th September. But if you're not interested in the special offer, you must apply before the end of August, please. Try to apply before the end of August. Now, are there any questions you guys may have? If you don't have any questions, I want to go through the application form, how to fill out the application form with you all. But in the meantime, I'll just entertain any questions while I pull up the application form with you all, right?
Do you all assist with job placements, or you all have like a job placement department, or what does that do if you all offer it?
Gotcha. So here's what we do. Now, every month we get vacancies or vacancies from different employers, right? And what we do with those vacancies, we would send it out to our student body. So we get these vacancies, employers will send us vacancies, and then what I will do, I will send those vacancies out to the student. Not all the vacancies are IT related. So what we don't do, we don't like say, well, okay, this job is yours and we give you a job. We don't do that. We are fair to all our students. So what we do, we get a vacancy, we send it out to all students. So it's basically fair play for everyone, fair game for everyone. And you now apply for the job, right? So based on that, so that is, in some regard, answers your question, right? That is what we actually do. So we won't work with the company and hire you directly with them, but what we do, we get their vacancies, send it to our students, and you apply, and then they hire from there. Just recently, 3 of our students, like our ministry had a vacancy for programmers. They sent it to us. They needed 3 persons. We sent it to our student, and in the next week, 3 of our students were hired for it, right? So that's wonderful news for our students. So that's what we do. Good. All right. Now, for the application form, it's not a very difficult form to fill out, but I know the first time you're doing it, you may feel a bit overwhelmed. I wanted to quickly guide you through. Now, the signature, your signature goes here, but if you can't put in your signature, don't worry, leave it out, right? I will sort it out. You tick if you're male or female from here, so you choose accordingly. And your date of birth, you put the day, the month, and the year. Your first name goes here, so this is your first name. Now, for your family name is your surname. So for your family name, it's your surname, not all the members of your family, please, because I've had a few applications where persons put the members of their family. This Family name is really your surname, your last name. Good. All right. If you are married or you change your name, you put your previous name here, right? Don't worry about passport number and country of issue. You can leave that out, right? For your correspondence address is where your letters go to. So this is you fill it in. You can do it in 1 line or 2 lines as the case may be, right? Then you can leave out postcode. If you have a home phone, you can put it here. And if you have a mobile, you put your mobile here. Okay. Now, your current email, this is the email you should be emailing all your stuff from. Now, I prefer a lot of students, well, occasionally students send the email, the application from one email address, and they have a different email here. I prefer if you send the email from your actual email address you want us to use on the form. The reason for it is because a lot of times students put a wrong email address, and when I send a wrong email address to the university, they will be sending all your stuff to that wrong address, and I will also be using that wrong address to send stuff to that you will never receive, and you will think, well, we're not doing our job. But that's because you gave us an incorrect email address. So I prefer if the email address you have here is the same email address you email us from, because we will use that email address on the system for you. Good? All right. So you don't need to fill out this side. Only if your home address is different from your mailing address, then you fill it out. Okay. All right. Do you have any criminal conviction? You could put yes or no accordingly. You don't need to worry about the Skype ID. Okay. Country of birth is the country where you were born. Your nationality is well, you will know your nationality if you're Trinidad and Tobagonian or not, right? And your country of domicile is where you're living currently. So you're currently living in Trinidad or wherever you might be. Here you can simply take no on visitor if you wish, and no for all of these, right? This is not really required, but at the same time fill it out by putting no for all of them if you wish. And how will you pay? Self-funded means you or your parents will be paying, right? Self-funded means you will have to sort out your own fee. You're not getting a scholarship or anything, right? All right. This part of the form will be filled out already, so you don't need to do that. Now this part here is where the important part gets. In the form I'm sending you, this part will already be filled out on UG. But here, I want you to put if you want to start at year 1, year 2, or year 3. So you put here year 1, level 4, year 2, level 5, or year 3, level 6 here. And your intake, the next intake now is not June, but it'll be September 2021, or you could put October 2021. It doesn't matter whether you put September, October 2021, right? Here. Good. Are we okay so far? So you need to fill out this part here by putting the year and the level. Good. All right, next. Now, how the university determines where you should start? They read this section called your qualification. This is a very important section, so please don't leave this out. Now, if you did CXC or secondary school, you don't need to put 1 line for every subject. You can simply put 1 line secondary, 2011 to 2016. You started secondary school in 2011, finished 2016. You wrote the exam in 2016. The awarding body is not your school. The awarding body is CXC is the awarding body. And you can simply put like 5 CXC passes, 4 CXC passes, or how much CXC passes here, or CSEC passes, sorry, right? If you did A-levels, CAPE, you put secondary here. You put 2016 or 2018 or whenever you did A-level, right? Awarding body again is CSEC, and you'll put 8 CAPE or A-level passes. So you can put 6 O-level passes or 8 O-level pass, how much it is. And for A-level, you can put CAPE or A-level passes here. Notice only 1 line to record that. Now, what if you did IT certifications? If you did IT certs, then under program, you'll put IT, you'll put the year you did it and what year you got the certificate. The awarding body might be CTS or CompTIA or SBCS, wherever you did the certification, right? And this is the name of it, if it's A+, etc. Good. All right. If you did, what if you did studies at UTT or COSTAT, etc.? If the program was IT related, you put IT, you put the year 2017 and year 2019. If you got the award and you put the year you got the award, the awarding body UTT, and it's a diploma in whatever. If you were doing COSTAT, you'll put again start and end year. This is COSTAT, but notice there's no date of award because you haven't gotten the award as yet. So you put COSTAT, Associating Degree Operating System Management or something here. Now, what if you dropped out of a program? Let's say you were going to UA and you did 2 years of an IT degree there. Then you'll put IT here, you put 2017 to 2020 when you dropped out. There's nothing here because you dropped out, right? So there's no award date. But the awarding body is UE, and you'll put BSc IT, and you put year 2 incomplete. You indicate up to which year you went, right? Now, please note, If you're currently studying another program, like tertiary program, the university likely wouldn't want to see you doing another program currently. So I would suggest if you were doing it, you could put out you're resting from the program rather than indicate you are currently enrolled in that program as well, because ideally they prefer persons only studying one tertiary program at a time. Now, your work experience, if you have IT work experience, prioritize your IT work experience because those are the ones more helpful. If it's non-IT, you still include it as well. So for example, the job title is IT technician. The company you work with is a company XYZ. You started in the 4th month, 2019 to current. Current means it's still there, full-time. And then you worked as a clerk from 2016, the 10th month to 2019, the 3rd month on a full-time basis. Good. All right, next. You indicate if you have any disability, yes or no. You indicate how did you hear about us, either through the agent or through a website or whatever, and you can indicate here or through a friend. And for the references, here's the thing, you must put references too. You don't have, they are not writing a reference here, but you need to put 2 persons here, and you don't have to fill out all the information. No, what we need is like their name, phone and email, ideally what you need for them, right? So for example, it could be a teacher, it could be someone, one of your family's parents, friends or something who has a senior position, or someone who has a senior position ideally. If you don't have access to any of those, then I guess you could put ideally a relative or something like that over here. Good. Or family member, which should be last resort. And of course, your signature goes here if you could sign it. If you can't, leave it out. What I will do, I will take your signature from your ID or passport or whichever is sending, and I will paste it into those spots. And that's the application form for you guys. Okay. And that brings us to the end of today's session. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns, guys? All right, so I'll be sending you, I need about 2 hours for the video to complete. It converts, the video has to convert, then I have to upload it to YouTube, and then I have to look at the registration list, update our attendance, and then send email out to everyone with all the links and stuff like that. I'll email the application form, the link to the recording, as well as this copy of the slides, right? And any other stuff that you need as well, with the JMMB bank as well will be included as well. So you should get that in 2 to 3 hours time. Cool. Questions?
Yeah. Mama said it was well informative and convincing.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Thank you so much. Any other comments, questions, concerns?
I have
Yes,
one question for
Go right
you.
ahead.
I was a student of SPCS, and I was doing the diploma in computer and information systems. However, I have recently learned that that program is no longer available from the University of London. They have withdrawn it.
Gotcha.
I did pass some units relative to that. I'm looking forward to doing this program as well. I wanted to find out what exactly, how you would place the units on the form itself.
No problem. So what you do, right? So you don't need to put each subject. Give me an example. How many? There are different levels, right? The diploma is the Goldsmith, I think. Is it? I think
yes, it's from the Goldsmith College.
Right.
If you have just 5 CXC passes, you will start off at the diploma level. The diploma level is 2 levels, and from there you'll move on to your second year, and then you'll have your final year. I was in my last year of my diploma.
Right. So what I will put for the diploma, I'll put diploma. Okay, so let's go back to the application form, and I'll go to that section, and I'll guide you in terms of how to fill it out, right? So in this section here, I'll put the diploma, IT diploma. I'll put the start year. I'll put the year you finished or stopped, right? There's nothing here for it, right? The name of the institution is University of London, right? And what I will put here in this column, under qualification, I'll put completed year 1 or however many modules of diploma, right? That's all. So I'll just put a note here, completed year 1 of diploma, or completed 8 units in the diploma, or 6 units in the diploma, etc. Right? Are you following?
Yes, that I am following at this present time.
Right. So you'll put diploma in whatever, right? Diploma in IT, and put completed year 1 or something. All right?
Okay, much thanks.
No problem. Other questions?
Yes, I have one. I think I had explained to you earlier on, right?
Yes,
So
you
we had
did.
previously talked. So I want to start the degree in September, coming in September, October, right? But where I work, our busiest time is within this period, that same period, from budget to December. So we talk about from when budget call to appropriation to finalization of the budget to start the financial year, first of the first.
Right.
Now, if it is, I would like to do one of the units and make up, either do 2 or do 3 at my easiest time, if that will be afforded for me.
All right.
If I would like to just do one of the units instead of 2
Understood. No
out of the
problem.
4.
I understand. So we do 2 units per semester, right? But here's the thing. For level 4, 5, and 6, the university mandates this. So this is not a CTS decision, but the university
Okay.
has indicated you must do the 2 units in the semester, right? So the university's mandate is you must do the 2. But here's the thing about it as well, right? In terms of the unit and for persons who are working, I do have lots of students in the program who are working, who have family, they have kids and stuff like that. So they have homework to do with kids, plus their studies, etc. And they do manage throughout the program as well. Now, at the same time, I don't really know your work schedule, and I respect the fact that you said it's a lot at that point. But if it is, you believe you'll be able to squeeze in maybe 8 hours per week of study time, right? Apart from the class time, then I believe you are good to go, right?
Okay. Okay.
And when you have an assignment, you may just need to put a little bit more closer to the assignment you did. But once you work consistently, the challenge we have is a lot of students don't do anything on the assignment and they wait very last minute to start, right? Whereas we are trying to get you to start the assignment from very early. If you start your assignments early, because you get your assignment sometime at the beginning of the term, by the second week, you already know your assignments. So you have all that time to complete it. So you can pace yourself as you go along, especially if you have a busy schedule, right? And it can be done.
Okay. Then. Cool.
Okay. Any other questions, guys?
I have one question again. When it comes to the classroom, you said, I think it's 2 hours per unit, right?
Yep.
I wanted to find out, let's just say that how I have to, like, say, leave the online class in an hour and a half time. Is that possible? Can I do that? Or would that have any infringements or anything of that nature due to the my job spec?
No, at all. So the good thing is, if you can't attend class, the classes are recorded and you are able to attend it, you will get the recording after. So while coming to class and being part of the class is beneficial, because we've seen a correlation where people who attend class perform a lot better than those who don't attend class. The truth is, if you can't attend because you have to miss it for work or other reasons, that's understandable, but you will get access to the recording and you can review the recording for the class, right?
Thanks much.
Good. David, go right ahead, please.
Okay. I wonder if I want something. And is it possible to take a course about people who are away from other countries of the world, who are outside of the country?
Yes, definitely.
course, yeah.
That's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. Right?
Yeah.
So you can be in any country and study the program, right? All right. So does that answer your question, Dave? The classes are online and our intention is to remain online as well, subject to approvals from the university and ACTT. But for now, we have all the approvals to continue online. But later on, if things return, based on what students are asking is that if the classes can remain online, and our plans are to remain online. That's what we would like to do, subject to the approvals, right? I just answering a question from the chat. If I'm interested in teaching, is this course for me? Now, if you're teaching, you could teach IT privately, or you could teach IT through the Ministry of Education. If you're teaching privately, it won't matter. Definitely this course is for you. If, however, you're looking at teaching with the Ministry of Education, what the ministry will do, you would need to have your IT degree, but what they may do as well, they may also look to see if there are any other courses that they would need in order to teach, right? So it's possible they may give you one course additional or something like that that you have to complete in order to teach. So, but they would have to do a mapping and in order to tell you, well, what additional is required for teaching if you've done this program. I anticipate you may have 1 course or 2 courses to do at most, but I don't see much more than that, right? But I don't know what they will be because we haven't had someone in this program who's applied for teaching and who's gotten that mapping and they've come back to me with it. So I can't say for sure as yet, but definitely you have the degree, which is a requirement for teaching in IT. So it's just now for the military to indicate if there are any additional things that you would need. Good. But this course is ideal if you're looking at teaching. And because you're learning Python and Java and stuff, you could use those in teaching A levels or O level as well, right? You're not learning Pascal, but a lot of schools use Pascal as well. All right. Okay, guys, if there are no further questions, we can close off. I will stay back if anyone else wants to ask questions and stuff, right? And you have my number. Remember my number, 777-1294. Please also take part in the survey. I had posted the survey as well in the chat. I'm posting it again. If you could kindly take part in the survey, please. I'll email you the link to the survey as well after, right? But if you could do the survey first to help us to get the information, please, all right?
Ravi, when you click on the survey, you're not giving you any information.
It's not, no, I just click on the survey and I'm getting this here.
Okay.
Right? So I'm using the same link and I'm getting this, right? I don't know if I can't say why. Are you using your phone or using your computer?
Okay, and open it now. We'll open it now. Because somebody
All
else was having the same issue, but I can rectify it.
All right, cool, no problem. I opened it yesterday as well and it was fine. No problem.
Hi,
Thanks.
I have
Hi.
a question.
No?
If it is you're doing this course and everything is online, when it comes to practical hands-on, how is it that you reach to that part?
Well,
Or
sure. The practical you'll do will be like programming. You don't need to you're actually in front of your computer when you're doing the class. So the teacher will be teaching it. So for example, when we say it's practical, it means your assignments, you are actually solving real life problem with your assignment, right? So let's say, for example, the university gives you a scenario and they tell you that a hotel is being set up and the hotel will need to book customers and they also need to show information about all the bookings and the bills to be paid by the customers, etc. And you have to design a database solution for that. That is what I call a practical assessment, because you actually have, those are real life situations that you have to solve. So you have to now come up with a solution for that. So you don't need to be in a face-to-face class to come up with a solution. So when I say practical, I don't mean like like if we're in a cooking class and everybody's in front of the stove, etc. It's not like that. The practicals are IT based, so everything is done on the computer, but you're solving a real problem. So it's a practical solution. So I'll give you another example.
I know when it comes to the hands-on, it could be with the software and whatnot, like writing and whatnot, but that's simple. You could do that at home online. But what I mean is like more like hardware stuff. You wouldn't be dealing with those stuff like repair or anything with that. That wouldn't be part.
Computer repair courses are more like A+, etc. So degrees typically don't focus on the repair part of it. You would learn about hardware, right? And you would learn about logic gates and stuff like that. But you won't have like, like you won't be scrapping a computer and doing that sort of thing. You would be learning programming and those things on the computer, but not like the physical hardware where you're going to scrap it and rebuild. That's more like an A+ course.
I understand.
Gotcha. Cool. Thanks, Kim.
Thanks.
All right. Well, guys, if there are no further questions.
Excuse, I just have one question for the final project. Is there a period of time you'll have to do this final project, and will you be getting consultation and assistance on this final project? Because I mean, it's an e-commerce solution you have to create.
Right. So I want to share with you a bit of what we'll be doing, right? So in terms of the final report, and if it's okay with you, I'll just indulge you in a little bit of the notes as well, like we will have, right? So just I have to share the drive and I'll have to pull up the file as well. So give me a second. I want to show you an example of what you might be getting as well, right? So I'm just getting the share drive where I'll show you how to where it's what we do so that you don't hear me saying stuff, but you'll actually see examples of it as well, right? So I'm moving this over here. This, remember I told you that we give students access to a shared drive, right? This is an example of the shared drive for level 6, right? So in the shared drive, you have 4 subjects here, plus you have a supporting information folder. In the supporting information folder, you'll have stuff on how to use Emerald Insight, which is to get journals and stuff. All the classes we did on Harvard referencing is here as well. So you have guides on Harvard referencing, plus the recording of our class on Harvard referencing is there, right? Plus the tutorial as well. You'll have you have stuff on academic writing, the induction ceremony, everything is online, how to view your results, your timetable, right? The link to, even your timetable is here. So in case you forget your timetable, we also have a WhatsApp group that I didn't mention. And in the WhatsApp group, they get reminders about classes and stuff like that every time. So like early this morning, I send the WhatsApp with the link again, even though it's the same link every week, every day, every week of class, I resend back the link just in case somebody is not fully organized and stuff like that, right? So you have the Zoom link for classes here as well, right? So the students have access to all of those. I even give them access to all the different levels. So I'll give you an example, right? So in this file here, the Zoom link for class, all students have access to this. They will have the Zoom link for each class, so they could attend any of the classes as well. So even though you're in level 6, you could attend the classes in level 4 if you wish, or vice versa. Plus everybody gets access to the shared drive. So you could view the shared drive for all the different levels as well, because my role is about learning, right? Plus some stuff on group work, even software we put here as well. Now, let's say, suppose you're in level 6 now, and you're doing the undergraduate project, right? So in the undergraduate project, I have this folder, online recording. Online recording is where all the videos are for the classes. So I'll show you in terms of, let's say, because we just started this semester, right? You will have the recording of, so 2 classes have gone this semester, classes on Mondays, and in Marcus's class, his classes are here as well. So these are the online recording. But if I were to go back now, so that's the recording. So I want to tell you, like what I said is there is actually there, so I'm not bluffing. Now, in terms of my lecture notes now, I'll give you an example. So for the lecture notes, you have your first assignment, you have a final report to do. Your final report is the actual thesis, right? So for this assignment here, the final report, what I've done is I provided samples from the best performing projects in the past, right? So I have samples from these projects for you. So you have lots of samples you could look at. Apart from samples from students, right? Apart from this, I just want to show you the lecture notes as well. Come on, just go back, right? Okay, so for the final report, I'll show you the lecture notes as well. It's just taking it's a little bit slow in responding. Right, so it's divided into chapters, right? So it's divided into chapters. So let me sort it a bit. Right, so notice here for chapter 1, this is your lecture notes, chapter 2, your lecture notes, chapter 3, every chapter I'm guiding you how to write it. I'll even show you an example as well. So for example, in terms of, let's say you're doing the requirements analysis chapter, let's say you're doing the requirements, I could use any chapter, right? I'll just randomly choosing one. So in this chapter here, the lecture notes, I'll give you a guide in terms of how I've done it. But remember, I'm just one teacher. Every teacher has their own style, right? So in the lecture notes here, it's just taking a little long to upload, but are you able to see the cover slide here?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going, usually have a word of encouragement for students as well, because I see my role as not just as an academic, but also to guide. I guide every week. I give you the report structure so you can see the whole structure. And this week I'm focusing on the requirements. So now I've started with today's chapter now is requirements analysis. And for the requirements, I'll give you a bit of what the university requires of the chapter. I'll give you a breakdown of what I recommend. So this chapter this is my notes where I create telling you what I want you to include in the chapter. So you should have an introduction, process of producing personas, etc. And then for each of these now, I will go into each one. So let's say you go to the introduction 4.1, introduction, and in blue, I actually write an example introduction. So for the introduction, I tell you, write a statement of the importance of the requirements to the project, state the aim of this chapter and what will be covered, and I give an example of it, right? So apart from telling you what you should write on, I actually give an example too. So let's say you have to produce the 4.2 is the process of producing the requirement. I talk about it a bit here, how to produce the requirement, and then I give you an example of how you should write it, right? And if you look at it throughout the entire slide, I keep doing that. So when you're doing personas, right, I teach you about personas, and then I give you an example of how it should, what information you should include for the persona. And then I give you templates, different example. I give you websites you could look at as well. And then I put several examples so that you learn through examples as well. So these are examples of personas as well, right? For your e-commerce site, right? Etc. So I put several examples, and all you need to do is you have to do 2. Then when you have to do your functional requirements, I guiding you in terms of step 1, identify your core and advanced, and step 2, your list. And I give you examples as well. Step 1, this is how you do it. And I give examples of the requirements. And then we go on to step 2 after, describing each requirement in detail, and I give examples as well. So throughout the lecture notes, my lecture notes, I guide you with a structure, and I give you, I tell you what you should include, and I give you example to show you how to include it as well, so that if you don't understand what the words are saying, you're actually seeing an example as well. Plus, I give you examples from the best performing students as well. So you have a whole catalog to work with also, not to encourage plagiarism, but because we learn differently. Like, for example, I learn better when I see. So for example, if today I am going, let's say we're going to do a class that is going to write a program to add 2 numbers, I would like to see the program at the end, what it looks like first. So what I'd like to do is see the completed product at the end, and then work backward now. And now I can fit the pieces together. So because of that, I try to teach, because students learn differently. Some students just need the theory. Some students need to see examples, etc. So that's how I'm teaching now for those different learners as well. So this is an example of what you can expect in the project. And apart from this, so I'm teaching you for the written part of it, which is the thesis. Marcus, who is the other lecturer, he is actually building the application step by step with you guys. In fact, apart from those, he has step-by-step videos how to do the different stuff as well, right? So he records these little videos like how to do a login, how to register, create the registration, and you could just follow step by step with your with the videos as well. So you are provided with a lot of support as well for it, right? And then apart from those, we do one-on-ones as well, if required, with students. Cool. Are you feeling more comfortable now based on the evidence I've shown there about what
Yes, I'm comfortable with the evidence you showed, but you were more leaning on an e-commerce website. Is it that you have either or of creating an e-commerce website or an e-commerce application?
It's an e-commerce application, really. It's an application, not a website, but more application. Forgive me for the use of the term website. It's an application you're building, right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. David, your hand's raised as well. Is there any other question you wanted to ask as well, Dave? All right. So guys, if no further question, then maybe we can end this session at this point. You have my number. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. It's 777-1294, 777-1294. You can reach out to me anytime you'd like as well. Okay. Guys, have a wonderful weekend as well, and have a wonderful rest of your day, your Saturday as well. Take care all, and I'm looking forward to working with you all in the future. Okay. Have a good day.